Hi, I'm Claire. I'm a pastry chef, a food writer, and also a food stylist. And I'm going to show you how I make my delicious, gooey butterscotch blondies. We've got melted butter here. We've got brown sugar, really nice brown sugar, a real soft one. I really like this, sort of a light brown sugar. Then we've got plain flour. I always use organic plain flour. Organic eggs as well. These are big eggs. This is gonna be our butterscotch. Right now it's just a little bit of water and castor sugar. This is vanilla. You can just use any kind of vanilla extract. Milk chocolate, a little bit of salt. This is baking powder here. And this is a little bit of vanilla extract. First up, I'm gonna take the sugar and water and turn it into butterscotch. So, really important tip here, make sure that the pan that you start with is super clean and super dry, because that's where you run into problems with crystallization. Another thing to think about when you're making your caramel is go ahead and turn the heat up really high. Really hot, high temperature will also help keep it from crystallizing. So we've got the flour, this is the baking powder, and the salt. I put it in the bowl, and then I just use a whisk. And then that mixes it all together, and you don't need to sift it. Now we're gonna take the brown sugar, the eggs. I always try to start from the middle and work out. It doesn't have to be super fluffy, just a little bit, starting to lighter and fluffier like that, and I think we're happy with that. Next, we're gonna add the butter, which you melt. So you wanna melt it at a low temperature so that you don't burn it, because you're actually melting quite a lot of butter. I'll probably do like half of it, mix it in, and then mix the other half. It starts to lighten in color and become pale and fluffy. So that looks really good. Then we're gonna add vanilla. So there's your vanilla extract. That's ready to go. I'm just gonna check my butterscotch, which is starting to boil away. As soon as the butterscotch is finished, we wanna pour it out. Otherwise it can burn. So if you have some parchment paper down, ready to go, and see it starting to smoke, that's good. The first wisp of smoke means it's ready. So then we're gonna pour it just right onto the paper. While that cools, we can finish making the blondies, which is basically, they're almost finished. All we have to do is add the flour. So you can just kind of put it in like that. I use the whisk in the very beginning just to kind of start to mix it through, but then I'm gonna switch to a spatula. It kind of looks like a cookie dough. Then you know it's ready. Set that aside, and we will get our tins ready. We're gonna do 2 here because we always make a big batch at the bakery. The way that in the bakery we line everything is with melted butter. It's really fast and easy. Just melt a little bit of butter in a pot on the stove, and then use a pastry brush. And then you can just get it all in there. This makes 10 blondies, one of these trays. It's important to use baking parchment, not just parchment paper, because parchment paper is not siliconized on both sides, and it can stick and burn in the oven. That's perfect. So those are ready to go. I'm gonna take the blondie mixture now and just divide it between my 2 tins. We wanna make sure that there's enough chocolate and enough butterscotch in every piece. And then you just wanna spread it pretty evenly, but you don't have to go crazy because it's gonna melt in the oven as well. It's about half. Just putting about 125 grams of milk chocolate into each tin. There's a million different combinations of flavors that you can do. Just kind of start to cover the chocolate a little bit so that it doesn't burn once it's in the oven. So now the last thing we're gonna add to our butterscotch blondies is the butterscotch. I'm gonna start to just sprinkle it on here. I love it. Even like I've done this a million times, but every time I just think it looks so amazing. So I'm gonna pop these into a 180-degree oven, and we're gonna do it for 25 minutes. They're gonna be a little on the soft side, but that's what you want because they'll continue baking a little bit when they come out, and we want them to be nice and gooey. So you've got a nice golden, almost, you get this shiny, almost meringue-y top, and you can see that it's soft, And they've just started to pull away from the edges here. I'm gonna take a little paring knife, put pressure against the tin so that I get a nice clean cut. Then you gotta kind of work quickly. So what you wanna do is pull one side and then just pull it out really fast, like that. And that's the best way to get it out of the tin. I wish you could smell this right now. It's like so good. So it's melty milk chocolate, butterscotch, deliciousness. Look at that. Yeah, that's really good.